Do not skip this story and stay with me until the very end, because every turn, every lie, and every confession builds toward a final moment that will change everything about love, forgiveness, and second chances. Chapter 1. The Job That Broke My Rules. My name is Ryan, and I get paid to break people up. I know how that sounds. Cold, cruel, wrong. Believe me, I have called myself all of those names. But when you are broke, jobless, and sitting on your friend's couch for the third month in a row, strange things start to sound reasonable. It started small. A worried mom at my church asked if I could talk some sense into her daughter's boyfriend. The guy was a walking red flag. No job, loud temper, and a habit of borrowing money he never paid back. She begged me to help end it without breaking her daughter completely. I met him for coffee, said I was from a big company offering him a job in another state. I made it sound perfect, and he left town in a week. The girl cried for a while, then found someone better. Word spread. Parents talked. Soon I had a service. I met bad boyfriends in parking lots, gyms, and coffee shops. I used whatever story worked. Secret wives, fake offers, anonymous tips, anything that would push them away. I told myself I was doing a good thing, saving hearts, cleaning up messes. But I had one rule. I never met the girl. I did not want a face or eyes or a voice to think about at night. I wanted clean breaks, clean pay, and no guilt. It worked. Until the day I met Emily. Her father, Mr. Harris, found me through a friend of a friend. We met in a quiet diner. He wore a perfect suit and a worried look. "My daughter is dating a musician," he said, like the word itself was a crime. "He's older. No real job. No future. She thinks it's true love. I think it's a disaster." I stirred my coffee and waited for the part where he told me what he wanted. "I heard you can end things," he said in a low voice, discreetly. "What's his name?" I asked. "Logan," he said. "He plays in bars and lives in a rented room over a garage. I want my daughter back before he wastes her best years." "Your daughter?" I asked. "What's she like?" That was my first mistake. Emily is smart, sweet. She used to talk about college, travel, her own business. Now she talks only about his band and some dream of touring in a van. He sighed. "I just want her to have a real life." He slid an envelope across the table. I did not open it, but I could feel the thickness of the cash. "You do this," he said, "and I will make sure your name never runs out of work." I should have walked away. Instead, I nodded. "Send me his number," I said. "I'll handle it." I still thought it was just another job. I had no idea I was about to meet the girl who would break all my rules. Chapter 2. The Girl Behind the Job. My plan was simple. Meet Logan, scare him off, get paid. I texted him from a new number, pretending to be a small music producer. We agreed to meet at a small coffee shop that hosted open mic nights. He walked in 10 minutes late with a guitar on his back and a cocky smile. I could tell he liked himself a little too much. "You the guy?" he asked. "Yeah," I said. "Sit down." I fed him a story about a music label looking for a new act, but needing no strings attached. No serious relationships. Total freedom. I painted a picture of late nights, tours, money, fans. As I talked, his eyes lit up. "So I would have to be single?" he asked. "That would be best," I said. "Labels do not like distractions." It did not take long. His ego did the work for me. By the end of the coffee, he was already imagining his big break. He agreed to cool things off with his girlfriend, at least for now. Easy. Clean. Just another job. Then the bell over the door rang, and everything changed. She walked in wearing a soft blue dress and white sneakers, her brown hair falling over her shoulders in loose waves. She held a sketchbook in one hand and her phone in the other. There was something open and bright about her face, like she still believed the world was more good than bad. "Logan," she called. He flinched. Hey, I thought we were meeting later." She smiled at him, then saw me. "Hi," she said. "I'm Emily." I froze. This was the girl behind the job, the face I never wanted to see. I should have left. Instead, I heard myself say, "I'm Ryan. I work with music. We were just talking about some plans. Really? She asked, eyes glowing. That's amazing. Logan is so talented. He grinned like he had already made it. Something in me twisted. I did not like him. I did not like how he talked over her, how he brushed off her questions. I watched as she tried to show him a sketch in her book, and he barely glanced at it. When she turned that warm smile on me, I felt something shift. What kind of music do you like? She asked. Honest music, I said, before I could stop myself. The kind that does not use people. Her eyes held mine a second longer, like she was trying to read me. That night, Logan texted me. Broke up with her. Where's my label contact? I stared at the screen, feeling sick. I had lied to him, and threw him to her. Emily, with the blue dress and the hopeful eyes. I deleted the message and never answered. The next day, I saw her again. Chapter 3. Falling for the heart I broke. I ran into Emily at the park near my apartment. She sat alone on a bench, sketchbook open, eyes red like she had been crying. The same blue dress, the same white sneakers. I could have walked past her. I almost did, but something pulled me toward her like gravity. Hey, I said softly. She looked up, surprised, then smiled weakly. Ryan, right? The music guy. Something like that. I said, mind if I sit? She shook her head. I sat down, leaving a small space between us. You okay? I asked. She let out a shaky breath. I will be. Just had a rough night. Want to talk about it? I said, maybe I should not have asked, but I needed to hear it. Needed to feel how much damage I had done. Logan broke up with me, she said, voice cracking. He said he needed to focus on his career. That relationships are a distraction. Each word stabbed me. Those were my words, repeated through his mouth. I'm sorry, I managed. She wiped her eyes. It's stupid. I thought we were in love. I thought we had a future. I even started drawing designs for a coffee shop with live music that we could open someday. She laughed sadly. Guess it was just my dream, not his. She flipped the sketchbook around. On the page was a cozy cafe with soft lights, a tiny stage, and a corner full of books and plants. It looked warm and alive, like the kind of place people would go to feel less alone. It's not stupid, I said. It's beautiful. She studied me. Why are you being so nice? You barely know me. Because I broke your heart, I thought. Because I owe you something real. Out loud, I said. Because you look like you need someone on your side. We started talking about music, art, coffee, and places we wanted to visit. She told me she loved watching people and then drawing their stories. I told her I liked listening to people and then making them laugh, even when I was not very funny. For the first time in a long while, I forgot about money, jobs, and schemes. I just listened, and the more I listened, the more I liked her. Days turned into weeks. We kept running into each other by accident, then on purpose. Coffee turned into walks, walks into late-night talks. She called me when she could not sleep. I answered when I should have been working. And slowly, painfully, I fell in love with the girl whose relationship I had destroyed. There was one problem. She still thought I was just the music guy. She had no idea I was the reason Logan left. Every time she looked at me with trust, guilt burned in my chest. One evening, we stood on a bridge watching the city lights flicker on. You ever feel like your whole life is a lie? I asked. She looked at me, concerned. What do you mean? Like you started doing something for a good reason, I said. But somewhere along the way, it stopped being good, and now you don't know how to get out without hurting people. She was quiet for a moment. Everyone makes mistakes, she said. But I think hiding them usually hurts more than telling the truth, even if the truth hurts at first. Her words felt like a key turning in a locked door. I knew then that I could not keep lying to her. I loved Emily, and if I really loved her, I had to risk losing her. Chapter 4. The Truth That Shattered Us. I decided to tell her on a Sunday afternoon. We met at her favorite cafe, a small place with old wood tables, big windows, and the smell of fresh bread in the air. The kind of place that felt like it belonged in her sketchbook. She sat across from me, fingers wrapped around a hot chocolate, eyes bright. You look serious, she said. What's going on? My heart pounded so loudly I could barely hear myself. "Emily, there's something I have to tell you," I said, "and you might hate me after, but I can't keep this from you anymore." Her smile faded. "You're scaring me." I took a deep breath. "I don't work in music," I said. "Not really. That first day in the coffee shop, when we met, I was there to see Logan, but not as a producer." She frowned. "Then as what?" "I get paid to break up relationships," I said, the words tasting like poison. "Your dad hired me. He thought Logan was bad for you. I told Logan that being with you would ruin his chances at a fake record deal. I made him believe he had to be single to succeed." She stared at me like I had turned into a stranger. "So you're saying?" Her voice shook. "You made him leave me." "I pushed him," I admitted. "But he chose himself. He didn't even fight for you, Em. He let a stranger's lie decide your whole future together." Tears filled her eyes. "You lied to both of us," she whispered. "You ruined my relationship and then pretended to be my friend." "I never pretended," I said quickly. "I didn't expect to meet you that day. I didn't plan any of this. But once I got to know you, I couldn't stop thinking about what I had done. I kept trying to find the right time to tell you. You just kept lying," she cut in. She stood up so fast her chair scraped the floor. The whole cafe went quiet for a second. "Emily, please," I said, rising too. "I'm telling you now because Because you what?" she snapped. "Because you feel guilty? Because you think that makes you a good person again?" "Because I love you," I said, the words out before I could stop them. The moment they left my mouth, the room seemed to shrink. She froze. For a second, pain and something else flashed across her face. Then she shook her head. "You don't get to say that," she said quietly. "You don't get to break my heart, then claim you love me. Love doesn't lie like that, Ryan." She grabbed her bag and walked toward the door. "Emily," I called. She stopped without turning around. "You once said hiding mistakes hurts more than telling the truth," I said. "I'm trying to fix mine." She looked back at me, tears on her cheeks. "Some things," she said, "you can't fix." And then she was gone. For days, she didn't answer my calls, my texts, nothing. I thought about going to her house. I even walked up to her front gate once, but I saw her in the window with her dad, and I could not move. I had finally done what I always did, broken something. Only this time, it was the one thing I wanted more than anything. Emily's trust. Emily's heart. Chapter 5. The choice she had to make. A week later, there was a knock on my apartment door. I opened it to find Mr. Harris standing there, holding an envelope. "We're done," he said calmly. "Emily knows everything. She hasn't spoken to me in days." I thought I was protecting her, but I only pushed her away. He pressed the envelope into my hand. "This is the rest of what I owe you," he said, "and the last time I will ever hire anyone to manage my daughter's life." "I don't want your money," I said, trying to give it back. "Take it," he insisted. "Use it to do something better, or to disappear. I don't care. Just stay away from Emily. She needs time to heal. Without you. Without me." He turned and walked away before I could answer. For a long time, I did stay away. I deleted all my clients. I stopped taking jobs. I got a real part-time job at a bookstore, shelving novels and watching people choose happy endings that felt far from my own. Months passed. I thought of Emily every day. Every time a girl in a blue dress walked by the window, my heart jumped. Every time I saw a sketchbook, I wondered if she was still drawing her dream cafe. I told myself that if she was happier without me, then staying away was my way of loving her. Then one rainy afternoon, I walked into a new cafe on the corner. There were soft lights, a tiny stage, a shelf of old books, plants in the window. The place felt strangely familiar. My chest tightened as I looked around. It was her cafe, the one from her sketchbook, and behind the counter, wiping a mug with a small smile, stood Emily. She looked stronger, softer, but also sure of herself in a new way. Her hair was tied up, a pencil stuck behind her ear. She wore an apron with the cafe's name stitched on it. Second chances. The irony hit me like a wave. She looked up and saw me. For a second, her face went blank. Then a storm of emotions crossed her eyes. Shock, pain, anger, and something like curiosity. I should have left. I almost did. Instead, I walked to the counter. "Hi," I said quietly. "Nice place." "Thanks," she said, voice cool but not cruel. "We just opened last month." "I can tell," I said. "It feels like your drawings." She blinked. "You remember those?" "I remember everything," I said before I could stop myself. She looked down, then back up. "What are you doing here, Ryan?" she asked. "Really? I didn't know this was your place," I said. "But now that I'm here, I guess I'm trying one more time to be honest, even if it's too late." She folded her arms, waiting. "I stopped," I said. "Breaking people up. I quit after I lost you. It wasn't a life. It was just hiding from a real one. I got a job at a bookstore. I pay my own bills now, mostly on time." I smiled a little. "I'm still not a great adult, but I'm trying." Her lips curved into the start of a smile, then flattened again. "Why are you telling me this?" she asked. "Because you were right," I said. "Hiding mistakes only hurts more. I hurt you. I can't undo that. I don't expect you to forgive me. I don't expect anything, honestly. I just wanted you to know that you changed me. That meeting, you made me want to be someone who deserves the word love." Silence stretched between us. A customer walked in, ordered coffee, left with a to-go cup. She made his drink with practiced hands, then turned back to me. "I was angry at you for a long time," she said. "At my dad. At myself. I felt stupid for falling for someone who lied to me, even if he was trying to tell the truth at the end." "I was trying," I said. "Too late." "Maybe," she said, "but you did tell me. You could have kept lying and had both your money and my trust a bit longer. You chose the risk instead." She leaned on the counter, eyes searching my face. "Do you still love me?" she asked, voice barely above a whisper. "Yes," I said without thinking. "Every day. But I'm not here to ask you for anything. If you want me to walk out that door and never come back, I will. I just need you to know this. You were never a job to me. You were the moment my life started to be real." She held my gaze a long time, long enough for my heart to ache. Then she walked around the counter and stood in front of me, close enough that I could see the tiny freckles on her nose. "I can't forget what you did," she said, "and I'm not sure I can ever completely forgive it." I nodded, throat tight. "I understand. But," she added softly, "I also can't forget how you listened to me. How you remember my drawings. How you told me the truth when you had every reason not to. And I can't forget that without you, I might still be stuck in a dream with someone who never really chose me." She took a breath. "So here's my deal," she said. "If you want to be in my life, it has to be as the honest version of you. No lies. No jobs in the dark. Just you, trying to be better. And we start as friends. Slowly. Carefully. You earn my trust back. One day at a time. No promises. No guarantees." A spark of hope lit in my chest. "I can do that," I said, "for as long as it takes." She studied me, then held out her hand. "Then welcome to Second Chances," she said. "We're hiring part-time, and we pay in tips, coffee, and very strict honesty." I took her hand. It felt warm, real, fragile, and strong all at once. As I stood there, in the cafe she had built from a broken dream, holding the hand of the girl I almost lost, I realized something. This was not a perfect ending. It was not a movie moment where everything was suddenly fixed. It was something better. It was a beginning. A real one. If you enjoyed this romantic tale of heartbreak, truth, and second chances, remember to subscribe to the channel. Activate notifications so you never miss a new story. Give a like to the video. Leave a comment sharing your thoughts. And share the video with someone who loves a good love story.